Okay, so I tried to make this video a couple of minutes ago, but I didn't like how it came out. So I'm going to um, start like this. So I made a video a couple of weeks ago. I do not remember the title of it. And I talked about how the earth has had many different civilizations, right? That was something that genuinely came from, that was a download or a channel, okay? That was a genuine download or channel. Now, today, I happen to be going through a book that I purchased a long time ago, and I've skimmed through it, and it's called The Mystery of the Olmecs. Okay. Now, the Olmecs were that was a civilization that existed in Mesoamerica. I believe that's how you pronounce it. If it's not, too bad. Um, that predated the Mayan civilization and even the Aztec civilization as well. What people don't understand about the Olmecs is that the Olmecs were interdimensional beings, aka space travelers. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But let me say it again. They were interdimensional beings and they were space travelers. See, that's the hidden truth about who the Olmecs really were. And yes, they were motherfucking niggas. Okay? Some of them looked like Asian niggas, but they were all niggas. Okay? But anyway, what I wanted to talk about was a passage that I came upon that really validates the channel that I got. And it says, and listen to me now, according to the Mayans and the Aztecs, there have been four previous worlds, and we are now in the fifth world. Each of the prior worlds were destroyed in one cataclysm or another, either by ice, water, or fire. As one world is destroyed, another is reborn with new inhabitants and a new order. Our current fifth world is to be destroyed as well, presumably by water. Well, we don't, who cares? But anyway, I found that to be very interesting considering I made a video saying something along these lines a couple of weeks ago, and that was before I even read this passage. Okay, because I haven't really went through this book in a long time. I use these books for, intellectual references sometimes, but for the most part, I get my information from the spiritual realm. Okay, that is how I know that Olmecs were interdimensional beings. Okay, because I have seen them. And that's all I'm going to say on that. Yeah, I know I'm crazy. What I found interesting too was that there's a movie. See, a lot of these movies symbolically talk about what the Mayans just said in that passage I read. There's a movie that came out in 1976 called Burnt Offerings. And what it was about this family. It had a all-star cast in it. See, I'm a big old-time Hollywood fan. It had an all-star cast in it. It had Betty Davis, Eileen Eckert, Burgess Meredith, Oliver Reed, Karen Black. I mean, these were some major hitters back during that time. But this family moves into this house for the summer, only for the summer. And all of these horrible things begin to happen when they move into this house. It was a really scary movie. Okay. When they move into the house, a brother and sister are there to greet them, to turn over the house to them because it's their house. It's the brother and sister's house, their older brother and sister. The brother is in a wheelchair. Okay. But in actuality, they're releasing whatever curse, I guess you could say, to this family. They tell them that they have a mother who's upstairs, who's 85 years old, who never comes out of her room. She only comes out to knit or whatever the case may be, but that's besides the point. The point that I'm making is that once this house killed that entire family, that house killed that entire family. Whatever energy or entity was in that house, it killed them. And once it killed them, the house began to regenerate. Basically, going back or restoring itself to its younger years, the house. And when I read this, or when I read this passage of what the olmecs said about this world, I said, well, goddamn, that movie that I have loved all of these years, Burnt Offerings, that movie is symbolically talking about the earth being destroyed in different cataclysms and then restoring itself and being reborn with new people on it. Because in the movie Burnt Offerings, at the end of the movie, after they killed that entire family, Betty Davis, Karen Black, and so on, when they killed, when whatever entity in that house or whatever energy in that house killed the entire family, it took you to the living room where there were all of these people, pictures of people. I'm sorry. There were all of these different pictures of people, and they were the people, all of the people who had lived in that house throughout the centuries, or who had visited that house throughout the centuries. And then towards the end of the table, you saw pictures of Betty Davis, Karen Black, Oliver Reed, and the son that they had, because they were the recent occupants of that house. They were the recent occupants of that house. So they were now part of all of these people who had lived in that house, who had been killed by that energy, and then the house regenerated itself and restored itself to its former youthful glory. So basically, that's the same thing that happens to this motherfucking planet. Cataclysms come, wipes out civilizations, or cataclysms are caused by advanced civilizations, and then the earth is reborn. That's not the story that they've been telling us. That's not the story that they've been telling us. You see what I'm saying? There's another movie that's more recent that came out last year. It was with what's her name? I can't think of this actress's name. She's a white girl. The movie is called Mother, and I saw the movie. And this movie is similar to Burnt Offerings, but a little bit different. And it's also about the earth being destroyed, but symbolically. Symbolically. Because when you hear the word mother, they're talking about Mother Earth. That's symbolic of Mother Earth. But the movie is along the same lines of the Burnt Offering storyline. This white girl, I can't think of her name. It's something Lawrence. This is, let me look up her name. I have to look up this girl's name, because if I don't, I'm going to go crazy. Okay, let's see. It came out in 2017. What's her name? Jennifer Lawrence. Okay, she's a pretty good actress for her era. Let me see. So again, this was about a burnt out remains of a large house, and what happens is that Jennifer Lawrence goes into labor. I'm just going to go to the main thing. She goes into labor. All this surrounds a house. Again, this is all about a house. And she goes into labor, and she has a baby. And the baby, well, look, I'm not going to get into all that. I don't feel like reading all this shit. But basically, what happens is she dies and she's reborn, and she's symbolic of what they're trying to say about the earth, that there's always some form of cataclysm that takes place, and then the earth is reborn. And my point is this: that's not the story that we've been told. See, you have to see, people don't think that people are going to do research, because our public is so dumbed down by everything that they see on TV, everything that we have been desensitized to. So we don't, do our own research as an occultist and as a person who practices, what I practice and do what I do. I do research and I look at certain movies for certain reasons to try to put pieces of the puzzle together. Okay. Now let's go back to, you look up the movie Mother. It's with Jennifer Lawrence. You look it up for yourself. You look up the movie Burnt Offerings. You look that up for yourself, and you put the dots together yourself. Now let's go back to the videos I did about Probe 7 Over and Out, the Twilight Zone episodes, where they talked about cataclysms taking place on different worlds and them having to come to Earth to start all over again. But symbolically, what they were really saying is that these cataclysms took place on Earth, possibly, and the Earth was reborn again. You see, so all of these things, the way I look at it, are connected. And I was blown away when I read this in this book about how the Mayans even say that the world is destroyed and another one is reborn. And I told you all that in a video I did a couple of weeks ago. And I just wanted to point that out. And that was before I read that in this book. That was way before that. So, but anyway, I just wanted to point that out. Check out those movies, Mother and Burnt Offerings. Check out those movies and you put the pieces of the puzzle together yourself and, see what you come up with. But this is Sia Grant and AKA The Occult View. And I hope you like the video. And let me say this too. And I just want to be clear about this. I'm not on here for views. I'm not on here for AdSense. I'm not on here for none of that bullshit. That shit is beyond me. YouTube, that's not why I'm on here. And I just want people to know that I'm on here to just give my occult view because that's what I'm here to do. And I know that rhymes. So, but anyway, until I make the next video, I'm out.